Yes, truly sovereignty, it's ultimately, can be, I can recognize it from the way he's speaking. Even, but I'm very thankful that he said what he said. Um, you know, um, as speaking from a soul level, as the learning process, as we, in this communication that we have, this is, this already connect us already, and this is very very important because even though he might not be connected to the people there where he where he lives, but he's already connected to us, and I see him as a as a sovereign being because there are souls that are chosen for this particular time, and it's not a coincidence that all of you in this call, all of you in this call that are here. It's you may have different status in wherever you are, but because you have this deep understanding of this time, and it's I call it a privilege and an honor because ultimately the restoration plan has to be physical, which means even if it's just one person in one whole entire country that understand this change, and he's trying to tell everyone else, just because he is there, the soul light of the planet is complete, and we understand this is our native tribes. We understand that this is just it's like if I talk about the day, it's just early in the morning of this light that is rising up. It's gonna take it can take a few generations. It can take take 100 years, 200 years, but it's already changing, and it's such a privilege to meet all of you. Um, I know some, it's like I said, it's just early in the morning now. A few days ago, the trust they were talking about Fiji being the first one, Russia. So it's really early. We will come over to wherever you are. We will come to Mexico. We will come to wherever the native tribe. As soon as the proper the illusions of money is balanced, we will use that energy to move around the planet so that we can accelerate the healing that will have to take place. So it's no longer going to be operated out of fear. It will be operated out of love. And the trust is working very tirelessly to try and balance the imbalances that are there in the US. You must never underestimate yourself. And if you look deep within your soul, you will see all your ancestors behind you, and they're happy that finally our representation has reached the time that supposed to that the restoration has to happen, and he's already awake, and we'll bring hundreds and thousands of people here in Fiji. We'll move around the Pacific. We'll come to your to the native to the continent of South America, to North America, to all the native tribes of the whole entire continent. Because those continent has been taken from you in illusion construct through paper and words, and your belief system has been changed, and so this needs to be restored because and this is why all the political construct that is there in the different countries are collapsing, and also they won't be able to create any currency because that's what's driving everything. That's what's driving the war. That's what's driving the economy. That's what's driving the endless cycles of political control, which is called government. As soon as that is going to be felt, it's starting already here in Fiji. It's going to come around. We just have to have patience and be in this kind of call, and we will share everything that all the energies that we have. If we have money, we will share it all over to all of you. We're just in the beginning stages, early in the morning, I would say in my native tongue. But yeah, there will come a time the sun will reach the top, and it will be it will be a day, it will be lunchtime. It will be everything will be, nothing will be hidden. Everything will be restored. Yeah, it's a, for me, it's such a blessing to be sharing this with everyone around the planet, and not just my native tribes here in Fiji. I represent them to you guys, so the unity is already here, and there's no separation. I know. We are just trying. The separation is the limitation of the physical limitation, which we already breaking through by this communication. So I'm very thankful. The question is actually asking about what we call in our native language, or maybe we call it in English. We call it the law of the land and the conflict with the law of the sea. I call it the confusion, because there are certain people, maybe especially on other native tribes, we don't fully understand the difference between the law of the land and the law of the sea, and what it means to be a sovereign in a different land. And this is why the study of the legal structure in a different country is very, very important. You have to understand how the commercial or the government, it comes under the law of the sea, and the native tribes that owns the land comes under the law of the land. And if the native tribes are not careful, they will lean into the law of the sea, and they will sell the in-ground assets in their land, because they will be told that the crown or the in-ground assets or the gold, the silver inside doesn't belong to you; it belongs to the government. And people will believe this because they don't understand the difference between these two laws. So in Fiji, these two laws is understood very, very perfectly, because it's your role as a sovereign people of your land to understand the different law they put on paper. They can just put something on paper and you believe, and they tell you that it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the government, and they can mine it. If you understand fully the law of the land and the power that you have as a sovereign, as a sovereign people of your land, you'll be able to protect yourself from these laws and go into the legal structure of it. We have what our native land trust, which bind the people to the native land. Ultimately makes us the native owner of not just the land, but the in-ground assets of everything. I guess I can share the actual point where I started, and you will be able to understand. I think we have what can I say? We are very lucky that we have our native structure. Some of you in your different communities will have this already. You already have your family, your tribes, and you have certain villages. You will have all this already in your different location, unless you are very urbanized. You are very you live in the city, or you have all this. The structure is very new, which is the modern one. It comes down from the modern government of districts and all this. In Fiji, we were lucky that we have our native, the old structure that already exists before this government, and we are already in those structures. So, in those structures, we have what you call the rasau. Rasau is something that is close to be what we can call in English it's translated into firstborn. So for me, an example of rasau is everyone in this call. You're already awake. You already can see the change, and you already know this change. For example, the gentleman that was asking that question, to me, he's a rasau from his place, because even though all the people in his community are still asleep, he is already connected to the change of the planet, and this is what a rasau to us. So we have all this in the different tribes. So what I did in 2018 when I started, that's when I turned 33. When I turned 33, I or physically move around to all the Rasaus because I'm also from the Rasau tribe, and I call all of them and gathered all the Rasau. And these people, we have almost almost 10,000 people that I was able to gather in 2018, and they are still connected now. And we are all waiting for the trigger to happen. So they all know their role, and as soon whatever they're gonna be doing to restore the different communities, not not directly involve restoration, but actually guide the people, because everyone will have to do their role. We are all prepared for a certain task that we have to play, and so I mean, this task has to be expressed by the people, because this is how their sovereignty can be fully expressed, and this is understood by all our native tribes. So I gathered all of them, and now we are connected. We are continuously meeting every. It took me 2 years to train them. Physically, I have to move around and travel. If I have to swim, I'll swim. If I have to climb the mountain, I have to climb. If I have to go across from one island to another, and right now all of them are all settled. We are all connected and all are ready, and all fully understand the trust, the role of restoration. Each individual country will have to. We know our role. That's why I'm telling the gentlemen will come to your place. We'll come there. We will meet physically. We will come to all the native tribes in the Americas, from the top to from the north right down to the south. That is our work for the next 20 years. That's what we're gonna do, because the restoration has to be physically implemented. That means we have to meet, and we have to encourage each other, and we have to do this. And so I did this physically, moving around, aligning everyone to the restoration plan, teaching them how to restore their body, because I'm also a gifted, in English they call it chiropractor. I'm also a chiropractor. So I do a natural realignment of the energy of the people, which is based on the nervous system. I would like to share the chiropractic alignment that I do, and I see this not just the alignment of the body, but also of the planet. And I see the people, the humanity, as the nervous system of this planet, and this is the wisdom of our native tribes, that we understand that the whole entire nervous system of the planet have been in a fight and flight. If you understand what the nervous system, and the two, you have the flight or fright, or the sympathetic state, then you have the parasympathetic state of the nervous system, which is the rest and regenerate. And for all these thousands of years, we've been fighting, we've been walking, because we've been trying to loot the planet, we've been trying to all this. And this time of restoration is time of rest, and the nervous system of the planet has to come to a state of restoration. And this has to be done also with the physical body of everyone. A lot of people have been working all their life in the government, in whatever you think. You can. People think that they have to work every day, and for thousands of years, and it's really hard to rest. And so I have to teach the native tribes to come to a state of rest again, so that we have to bring the planet into a state of rest. And so as soon as we rest from our work, in the point that we've been discussing earlier, the whole planet will come to a rest, and it will start to regenerate itself. And so this has to happen from the person, from the individual, from you. You have to come to a state of rest. And so all this fighting, all this mining, all the war, all the political, the economy, all about fighting, all about competition, all about this. We never stop. and because we've been programmed and we've been educated this way. We have to work, and then you retire. And even when you retire, you still work. And thousands of years, this has been happening. And the vision of a native tribe is to get the planet into a state of rest. And this is why the COVID-19, sole agreement that has happened, that everyone has to come to a state of rest. No more work. Stay home. Relax. Don't stop the economy. Stop the different things that people are, and you're no longer a slave. You have become a sovereign being. A sovereign being does not is not a slave, and you're not a slave to the. And this is why the change in the banking system, and this is why this whole change is happening. And yes, physically, I have to get people to the state of rest, and a lot of disease and imbalances in the body because people don't understand, don't know how to rest. When we ask to rest, we still want to work. And so Nigel's explained that to you. The nervous system, a lot of the problems that we have in the people I see in my community, they have all these imbalances like diabetes, all this non-communicable disease. It's all because the body has been designed to work, to eat to work. You have to eat carbohydrates to work for energy. And the body doesn't know how to actually, when people retire, they stop working, but they still eat like they're still working. And this imbalances continues on, and people die very early because they continue the consumption of these imbalances. And so what I see is the body doesn't understand how to be in a state of rest. So I have to remind individual, like people, you have to rest. You're no longer at work. You're no longer at this. You have to change your diet. You have to change the way you eat. You're no longer working 24/7 or 8 hours a day or all this. You have to change the whole entire. If not, your body will get hurt. You've been programmed to do this. So all this programming has to be undone. And this is what I did for these last 2 years, and not just in small communities, but the whole entire the whole entire country. And then so I told the leaders in government also, we will come to a state of rest. The economy will shut down, and people will learn how to go back to the land, plant their food, and eat from it, and no longer be slaves to the banking system. We are learning it now.